Hey everyone, and welcome. If you've been keeping an eye on AI, you know things are moving incredibly fast. We're already going way beyond simple chatbots and into something, well, something way more powerful. Today we're talking about AI agents, what I believe is the next huge shift in how we're all going to use computers. So let's dive in and figure out what it takes to actually build them.
You know, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella really hit the nail on the head with this one. He's not just talking about a small upgrade here. This is a total game changer. Agents aren't just tools that we command anymore. They're becoming partners that work with us and for us. And that vision is exactly why understanding how to build them is becoming such a crucial skill.
So what is the big deal here? What's the actual difference? Well, think about traditional automation. It's like a simple macro or a script. It follows a very rigid set of rules. If this, then that. It does tasks for you. But an AI agent? That's a whole different ballgame. It accomplishes entire workflows on your behalf. And the key word, the magic word here, is independence. It has autonomy.
All right, to get you started on this whole builder's journey, here's our roadmap. First up, we're going to nail down what an AI agent actually is. Then we'll pop the hood and look at its core components. After that, we'll compare a solo agent versus a whole team of agents. Then we get practical with a builder's toolkit. And finally, we'll wrap up with some really cool ideas to get you inspired for your first project.
Okay, let's jump right into our first section. What exactly is an AI agent? Because we're really taking a huge leap here, moving from the chatbots we all know to something that has genuine autonomous intelligence.
So at its heart, an AI agent is a system that can see and perceive its digital environment. It can make its own decisions, and most importantly, it can take action all by itself to hit the goals you give it. You got to think of it less like a calculator and more like a super smart personal assistant or even a digital employee you can delegate really complex work to.
So how do these things actually work? How do they think? Let's get into the guts of the machine and check out an agent's core components. This is the secret recipe that makes all that autonomous action possible.
And if you look at the guides from places like OpenAI, it all really boils down to three foundational pillars. First, you've got the models. These are the big language models, the brains of the operation that give it reasoning power. Second, you have the tools, which are what allow the agent to actually do things in the world, like browse the web or run code. And third, the instructions, which is you telling the agent what its goal is.
This visual here, this really shows you the engine that makes the whole thing go. It's this constant core loop. The agent perceives what's going on, it decides what to do about it, and then it acts. And then it starts all over again. It's this continuous cycle of learning and doing that's just so powerful.
We can break that whole loop down into a really simple three-step process. Observe, think, and act. It's that easy to remember. First, it observes the world and gathers up all the info it needs. Then, it thinks. It reasons, it makes a plan, it figures out the very next best action. And finally, it acts, using its tools to execute that plan. And that cycle just keeps spinning until the job is done. All right, so now we get how one agent works. But what happens when a task gets really complicated? Well, that brings us to our next section, single agents versus agent teams. Is this a solo act, or is it a team sport?
You know, for a lot of tasks, a single agent is honestly all you're going to need. Just one agent working through the entire problem on its own, running that observe, think, act loop over and over. It's actually the recommended starting point for anyone new to this. It's the perfect way to get your feet wet.
But for the really big, hairy, complex problems, you might need a multi-agent system. Now, this is like putting together your own dream team of experts. You've got a crew of specialized agents, and each one has a specific role. You might have one agent that's a pro researcher, another that's a brilliant analyst, and a third that's an amazing writer. And they all work together to get it done. And these agent teams usually work together in one of two ways. You have the manager pattern, which is kind of like a traditional company structure. There's one manager agent that delegates tasks out to the others, or you have the decentralized pattern, where it's more of a flat team and the agents just hand off control to whoever is best for the next step. Okay, you've got the theory down. Now for the really fun part, your AI Builder's Toolkit. We are getting our hands dirty now and looking at the actual tools you can use to start building today, all the way from easy no-code stuff to pro-level coding frameworks. Let's walk through a few options here. Think of it like a choose-your-own-adventure for building agents. If you're just starting out, custom GPTs from OpenAI are a fantastic, no-code way to build simple personal assistants. If you want a bit more power, a low-code platform like NN is amazing for building automations that can use external tools.
And if you're ready to write some Python, CrewAI is a super popular framework for creating those multi-agent teams we talked about. And Streamlit is perfect for whipping up a quick user interface so people can actually use your agent.
And this brings us to our last section, where we put it all together. What will you build? Let's move from theory to reality and look at some awesome projects that could get you fired up.
Okay, imagine this, a personal financial coach. You could build an agent that securely connects to your bank data, analyzes exactly where your money's going, and gives you totally personalized advice on how to save more. I mean, that's a perfect example of an agent providing real, tangible value in your day-to-day life.
Or, on the complete other end of the spectrum, how about something for the pros? A 24/7 cybersecurity analyst. You could have a whole team of agents constantly scanning for new threats online, analyzing your system for vulnerabilities, and then drafting up detailed reports for a human security team to act on. This just shows you the serious enterprise-level power we're talking about.
And for all you creators out there, what about an automated content planner? You could have one agent go research all the trending topics in your niche, have another one analyze the top-ranking articles for those topics, and then a final agent could generate a perfect SEO-optimized blog outline for you. The possibilities are, and I mean this, truly endless.
So as we've seen, the tools are out there and they're more accessible than ever before. The core concepts are actually pretty straightforward, and the potential is just massive. You have an entire AI team just waiting for you to give it a mission. So the only question left is, what are you going to build first?